I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone. This is part of our stormwater seminar. And this one, we kind of share the stormwater seminars with two other organizations, two other townships, Manchester Township and Dover Township. And tonight with us is Laura Oswald. She's the township manager from Dover. Welcome. Thanks for coming out and supporting us. And I don't believe we have anybody from Manchester. I don't think Stu was able to make it. Mike?
They're both from Dover.
Oh. Mike and Nathan. So thanks so much for coming out. We don't have anybody from Manchester, but we've got Dover and West Manchester, so that's pretty good. The good thing about the seminar tonight is hopefully everybody's here to learn how to make a rain barrel. And we're going to do that. And the other thing that's kind of nice, if you look around, we don't have a lot of people, but we're going to give away 3 rain barrels tonight. So just because there's not a lot of people here, your chances have just increased. And I think we have some other door prizes as well that we'll take a look at the end of the seminar. We want to give you some additional information on maybe some of the benefits of doing the rain barrel, and we actually have our stormwater coordinator, Zane Williams, to kind of share some information about that before we actually get started with our demonstration. Thank you, Monica. Okay?
Now, we're all here tonight to learn how to make a rain barrel, but what is a rain barrel? Well, a rain barrel is an effective and efficient tool for conserving rainwater and managing stormwater runoff. Now, most rain barrels are low-tech, low-cost, and easy to maintain. Rain barrels are basically a watertight structure that holds the rainwater. They can be made of plastic, wood, concrete. There's many types. Most of the ones are these 55-gallon drums that we'll be working with tonight. They also make very decorative ones that look like flower pots that you can hide. There's also the wood barrels that work. You can use a trash can if you want. Anything that's watertight that holds the water in will work. The typical size is the 55-gallon, but they can be made any size to suit your needs. We have some in the township that people put in a buried concrete tank that's 1,500 gallons that they collect their barn water, and then they use that for washing cars and whatever else in their garage. For a typical house with a 1,000 square foot roof, when we get a rainfall of about 0.1 inch, that generates about 60 gallons of water. So that's pretty much why a lot of them are the 55 gallons. So that's a typical rain that will fill it up based on 1,000 square foot. Now, why are rain barrels important? Well, they slow down water runoff from impervious surfaces, which in turn reduces erosion and flooding downstream. They conserve water usage also. Now with like the global warming where we're starting to have droughts, any water we can save is a benefit to the water system. And some of the other benefits of the rain barrels are rainwater is better for your plants than your tap water that has the chlorine in. And plus you have your own water source, and it also helps reduce runoff pollution, helps prevent erosion, and it will also help reduce your water bill. The water that is collected in these things should only be used for non-potable purposes, washing cars, watering flowers. With these rain barrels, maintenance is minimal, but there is some maintenance that you should do. You want to check for debris in case anything gets blocked, check for cracks or leaks. And in the wintertime, you want to disconnect them or else they will freeze and crack. So they say it's best just to unhook and turn them up, drain them and turn them upside down until the frost is gone, and then you can rehook them back up. And the other maintenance is you need to either use the water or drain the water between rain events so that there's room in there to catch the water. Because if it's full, it's just going to overflow or back up. One of the ways is you can hook up a soaker hose to the bottom, and then it will you can just naturally drain out into your garden or landscape areas. And then that's basically a rain barrel. Yes.
How do you keep the mosquito larvae from getting to the water? It's tight.
Yeah,
It's sealed though.
yeah. With the ones we're doing tonight, they are sealed. Other ones that have like a hole cut in the top, they put like a fine screen over the top to keep them from going in.
Okay.
But to keep them watertight is the best way. And we've also heard that you could put a goldfish in and have them.
I saw it online, so it must be true. Put goldfish in it and it'll eat the larva.
Okay.
But just don't drain all the water.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. So this is the demonstration part. And with every demonstration, it's really a good idea to find somebody that actually knows what they're doing. To teach those who have never done it before. And we found that person. Mike Landsman is he's on our public works department, and he's actually with the sewer crew. He's that go-to guy whenever he comes to the building. You're like, hey Mike, I need this. Hey Mike, so his list tends to get long at times. So with this, he came into the building and I did my, hey Mike, and Mike, as always, said, sure, I'll do it. So he's actually going to walk Monica and myself through this process. But the other thing, Monica and I have some help. They're kind of our secret weapons. And those secret weapons are actually Mike's kids. I just learned tonight that they actually have their own tool sets, which doesn't surprise me, but I felt a lot better when I knew we were going to be able to count on the help of Jane and Jonathan. So when you see Jane and Jonathan up here, they're really helping me. They're here for a purpose so that we don't do anything wrong. So please help me welcome Jane and Jonathan. If you just want to come up to a rain barrel, and Monica is in our zoning. She is our zoning and codes enforcement officer, and also does a lot with rainwater and stormwater. So Monica's actually helping out. I know I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Lori Trimmer. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director, and we're recording this evening with the help of Nathan. So I took this opportunity to get everybody to wear Township Parks and Rec shirts. I thought that was really brilliant on my part. So we'll be actually doing this. Mike's actually going to share the demonstration, how we actually do this, but he also has some information to kind of put in there as we're doing this project. So please help me welcome Mike Landsman. Mike.
Okay, well they're getting ready to this force we have here to put these together. Things you'll need when you're putting together a rain barrel typically are a drill, safety equipment, safety glasses, a screwdriver, some drill bits. Now the kit we picked this up from Ace Hardware, right up in Dover, and it comes with literally everything. It comes with the hole saws, 3 different size hole saws. It comes with everything you need to put together a rain barrel. And I did a slight variation on what their instructions say, so we could add something later on, and I'll get to that in a minute. So if you guys want to get ready, get your tape measure and your pencils, and we'll get started. While you're doing that, when you're getting ready to do a rain barrel, you want to make sure you keep in mind what you're doing with it, where you're putting it. That's all going to go into play. Aesthetics, with what kind you get. You can do, like Zane said, you can do anything from 55 gallons all the way down to a 5-gallon bucket if you want, whatever you need. So you want to remember where you're putting it, and that'll help you out with picking the barrel itself. And placement of the rain barrel. You always want to remember, again, aesthetics are important. And if you want to, most people want it behind their house. I have a garage in my house. I put it behind my garage. So just that, another thing to remember where you're putting it. Also, you're going to want to know what you're doing with it. Are you going to run a hose out of it? That's easy. You can set it on the ground. Gravity feeds the water through the hose and out the sprayer. Or my father-in-law has his built up on blocks because he puts a water can underneath it. And that works out great too. You can use cinder blocks, bricks, wood, anything you want. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is install the front fitting, which is on the front of the table. The rubber part is going to go in first. So what you need to do is you need to drill a 1/4 inch hole at the bottom. This is where your water is going to come out. So what we're going to have our helpers do is measure up 3 inches from the bottom of the barrel. And I should mention that these barrels, when they come together in the mold, they form seams. So there's a seam right along the front and right along the back. So finding the front and back of this thing and the exact opposite is very easy. It's not hard at all. And once you have your holes drilled, you're going to take your drill with your hole saw.
How far are we going up?
3 inches. You'll just do the bottom one first. We'll drill that one. You're going to take your drill with your hole saw and you're going to drill a hole at that mark. And folks, there are many other options as far as kits and components for a rain barrel. This is a kit that came all self-contained, everything in one bag. I did price it out at Lowe's for all the components. They have different types of things that go in your downspout, all kinds of things. And this just happened to be the cheapest way to do it. And I thought that was a good way to show everybody because it is cost efficient.
Bottom, and you said your spring barrel on the end, or you're not. Is there enough water pressure that you can sprinkle?
I don't know offhand what a gallon of water weighs, but there is a lot of weight in a 55-gallon drum, and all that weight is going to escape through that hose. You may not get the pressure you have at your house with sitting water, but you'll get plenty of pressure. For water, it'd be great for water. It may not spray the crud off your tires.
Really?
I'm sorry, 1 gallon, 6 pounds. So there's a lot. This guy says 7. So it's anywhere from 5 to 42 pounds. Yeah. No, there's plenty of pressure behind it.
On the other side?
Nope. We're going to go ahead and put our front fitting in, which is the black piece. This is a threaded piece that, when put in, it will seal around the spigot. So I found that if you kind of fold it, push down and fold it, and then put it in your hole, as soon as you let go, it pops open. Yep. Yep, that's going to form a seal inside it right there. That's sealed, ready for the spigot. We'll hold off on the spigot because we're going to roll it over and we don't want it to teeter on that. Okay.
Good job.
Next, we're going to let Lori go first. We're going to measure from the top down 3 inches. This is where the water is going to come in from the downspout. And this will be an 1.5 inch hole to accommodate the hose fill seal. While they're doing that, we will go ahead and put the hose seal in on yours. Yep.
So it's 3 inches on the one side and 3 inches on the other
3
side?
inches up from the bottom on the front where it's coming out, 3 inches from the top. It doesn't have to be exact. And these, we are doing this kind of generic. If you're doing it in your home and you have a bush right here, you may want the fill hose to come in on the side. It doesn't have to be this way. This is kind of a generic roundabout way to do it. Again, if you fold that filler seal in half and place it in, it'll pop open and should fit in. What's your
Man, push it. Watch it.
Here, the clutch is one. Okay.
There we go.
Next, we're going to do the overflow, which this is where I did a little variation of this. In the kit, it tells you to make this next piece your drain. Well, my thoughts are you already have the spigot there. That can be your drain. You open that up, it's going to drain out. So what we're doing here is we're going to put something in that if you wanted to run two rain barrels in parallel, the overflow would come right out of this one into your next rain barrel. So you can have twice the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll our barrel about halfway over, just roll it halfway, and they're going to make it, and this is an approximation, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just connecting another rain barrel to it. And we're going to measure down 5 inches because we want our water coming out as it fills up before it comes in. So we don't want it to backfill automatically into the downspout. And if you did want that drain down to the bottom, your filler hose, and I'll touch on this a little bit more, acts as an overflow as well. So when it overflows and gets to that point, it will automatically go back into your downspout. So we're going to make our mark at 5 inches, and we're going to drill another 1 1/4 inch hole. At Lowe's, they actually have a piece that you put into your downspout that has a slanted screen and an open front on it. That way, any debris that comes down is automatically ejected to the front. Now, the ones we're going to put in have something similar, and we'll touch on it a little bit. So we'll do that one. There we go. The little guy got the barrel that has plastic that's 3 times as thick as the white one.
How long do these rain barrels last? What's it made of? Just it'll last for many years?
This plastic, forever. It'll last forever. The bricks underneath it, if you put it on bricks, will probably crumble before this plastic deteriorates. Okay, so we're going to put our overflow seal in, which is another one with a little teardrop, yep. And again, is that? I just thought that looked nicer. Again, if you push on the center of it and fold it in half and then put it in, it'll pop open and fill the hole. They're made of a harder rubber, so it is a little bit tight to get those folded in half. If we did it outside, the rubber would be softer, especially today. Jonathan, Monica, you got it? All right. So we're going to roll back over to our bottom spigot. seal. We're going to go ahead and put that in because it's easier to put in with it laid over on its side, and you don't have to twist it. You're going to twist that in until it's tight. Put it in straight so it doesn't strip. There you go. And if it starts getting tight and it's pointing to the left, you might want to back it down, back it away. You don't want to really wrench on it. There you go. I'd say that's good. Okay, let's set our rain barrels up again. And we're going to go ahead and put our overflow in, which again is a threaded piece that for this purpose we don't have, I'm sorry, not our overflow, our piece to run parallel. And we don't have one to run parallel with, so they actually come with a cap. It's got a cap on it because it is a drain. So we're going to thread those into our upper seal. That'd be my best. Right there. We're just going to thread that in until it's tight. And Monica actually brought up a good point earlier. You could also use this if there's an area where you want to get water that's near your rain barrel. Obviously it's going to be raining, but if it's something inside your garage and you want water to run into a flower pot, or I don't know why you want that much water. But if you wanted to divert water somewhere, you could put a small hose on that, a big hose on that, and as it fills up, it'll run out. I'm going to walk back here and get this other rain barrel to show you some of the rest of it. I'll tell you what, you guys did a great job. Now the rest of it, because these will be going home with somebody, we're not going to put the hose on the back of it because it's not going to anything. But with this one, the piece that goes into the downspout. Yep. This here is what's going to go in your downspout. This takes, I believe, it's a 2 1/8 inch hole saw. And what you do is you fold it and put it into the downspout. You'll want to wear gloves for this especially because the downspout is aluminum and you can have sharp edges. So you'll fold it, put it in. It comes with 2 self-tapping screws. You run those screws in. You'll hook your hose to it, and then it'll hook to your rain barrel. Now, the way you want to do, obviously we can't show you on a downspout. We don't have a downspout in here except for this one. But when you have your rain barrel where you want it, you want this hose to be just above level from where it's entering the rain barrel. So I would take my level on the top of the rain barrel, on the lid, and where it's level, that's where I would make my mark for my rain barrel, for the top of it.
You can't really see.
I'm sorry, you're right. Can you hear me without the microphone?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty loud. You're going to level off the top of the rain barrel, and that's where you're going to put the top of the fill hose. That's going to give your rain barrel the most room to fill before it ejects back through here. This is where the water is going to go if it's overflowing.
Yeah.
And this piece by design will allow that to happen. The water and this also will deflect any debris or anything that comes down through the downspout. This doesn't fill up your entire downspout, this piece here. It leaves room around the outside of it so debris can get out of it. It'll actually catch it, and then as it fills up, it'll eject it. And it'll also go right through the sediment. So debris, and I'm sure a little bit of stuff is going to get through. Yes, ma'am?
Once that rain barrel fills up with that apparatus like that, will it be, will then will the downspout just work the way it usually works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It will actually,
I didn't think anything to be spilling out of it.
no, this will allow the water to come back up through here. I can come show you.
But if you had one that was open,
Sure.
but if you had one that was open on top of it, spill over. You had talked about spilling over.
Yes, you would put this piece lower.
Oh, okay.
If you had something open on top, you would put this lower,
Okay.
and it would then, when it fills, it would exit
Oh,
sewer.
okay. Okay, thank you.
I'm getting it. As Zane said, you want to put it out of commission for the winter because of expansion and contraction of ice. So like he said, they recommend flipping it upside down. And the cool thing about this kit is it allows you to pop that right out of this piece, out of your downspout, take these two screws out, and it comes with a cap. You put this cap right on it, put your screws back in, you're good till spring.
And that all comes in a kit?
Everything you see here comes in a kit, including the drill bits. And with these kits that they're giving away, you will receive the hole saws, because you will need it for this to put it in your downspout. But you'll receive all 3 hole saws, the mandrel, everything, because that all comes in the kit. And I want to say, Zane, 30 something?
Yeah,
$30 couple dollars at Ace Hardware for these kits. And a little more expensive if you want to buy everything separately at Lowe's. Home Depot, I think, has a kit that you can purchase. They may even sell this exact kit.
That doesn't include the rain barrel, does it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
How
Those.
much are the rain barrels?
5 years ago, I knew a guy up off of Route 30 that $5. He dropped $5 in a box, and you can take one off of his property. He's no longer there.
Sometimes down to car wash.
Oh, the car one? Yeah. But a lot of factories will give them away. Factories get their chemicals and cleaning supplies.
You can use a plastic trash can, as long as the lid fits tight.
I think
Sure.
Sonowalt's in Spring Grove, I think, also has them there for sale. But a lot of times if you're stopping at a car wash or someplace like that,
Yeah.
you might be able to get them for free.
I know almost all of the ones that the gentleman had up off of Route 30 came from Nouse Foods. So find an orchard. Nouse. Up in Artsville, the apple orchards, they do apple juice, applesauce, stuff like that. But most of his came from there. I'm sure any factory, you want to make sure you know what you're buying though, because chemicals do come in 55-gallon drums. Don't smell it. If they give you a drum, do not smell it. Clean it out. You can flush it out just with water, but definitely all the air inside that, if there's a chemical in there, is going to come out of one of these 2 holes, and you open that up, you don't want to put your nose near there or anything like that. So just know what you're buying. You can use anything that holds water, you can use for a rain barrel. It's a cost-effective, safe way to water plants. My father-in-law fills his fish pond with from his rain barrel, because if he takes the water out of the tap, city water, he has to let it sit out for 24 hours before he can put it in with the fish. So it's a real cool idea. It's fun to make, and it'll save you money in the long run. And it's environmentally safe. I'll probably throw that in there. That's all I have. Thank you, Jane and John.
Mosquitoes. No,
Oh, we touched on that a little bit earlier. These are sealed.
but the ones on top, is there like a disc that you have to put in it?
You can.
Is there? I'm sorry. I'm not
You
familiar.
can actually get, I think it's called mosquito dunk or dunk it or something
Yeah.
like that. So if you have one that doesn't have a lid, you should treat it every, it gives you the directions you can buy that. You can get that, again, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, all those places.
And a fine screen on top of it will prevent the larvae from getting in the water. And like we said earlier, I read somewhere that goldfish eat the larvae. I'm going to keep pushing that because I want to find out if it's true.
I'm not sure how to get goldfish in there.
Well,
That's so lonely. You want to keep
yeah, go win yourself a goldfish at the fair and test it out. Oh, yeah.
Did everyone have an opportunity to put their name in the, for a door prize?
Caitlin didn't. Is she allowed to win? Folks, this particular kit that came from Ace Hardware is called Earth Minded. It's a do-it-yourself rain barrel diverter and parts kit. It shows on here, it even shows them using a trash can, a wooden barrel, and one of these 55-gallon drums. And this comes with very detailed instructions that I kind of just shortened down into a little printout. So what I have here is just kind of shortening this. I couldn't fit all this on a little piece of paper. It looks intimidating, but it's really not that hard. It's with these instructions, it's not hard at all. It tells you exactly what to do, and it's very easy.
And these are actually Mike's instructions. So if anybody would like a copy of those, they're on the little stand at the door. Feel free to grab one on the way.
Thank you.
This concludes my part of the demonstration.